Hello, hello. Now we're reading chapter 139 of the One Punch Man webcomic. What's gonna happen? No more Zombie Man! Oh, I wanted like right back in it with Zombie Man. Seeing what he's up to. Seeing how strong he's gotten. Seeing what crazy regenerative powers he has. Like, if he starts being this insane monster that can like rip his own arm off and then like his arm grows into some massive weapon or something. I don't know. The sky is the limit. At the same time, I kind of like that he was just some guy. He fought with weapons. He wasn't super remarkably strong. It's just that he couldn't die. I don't know. Very, very curious what this House of Evolution evolving is. But instead, we're kind of keeping up with this insane pace of flying around the city, looking at all of these different encounters, each one of them providing... Oh, look, he's cleaning himself. Providing a little more flavor to the world of One Punch Man, reuniting us with some obscure characters that only us big nerds can recall. This is not the same character as Heavy Kong, by the way, which is what I thought at first. But a very high-ranked A-class hero. Cannot defeat this weird zebra demon. And each of these illustrates a little story in the overall saga of the Neo Heroes and the Hero Association. This is the lying-eating zebra. Oh, it's Drive Knight! Sweet! Okay, cool. Drive Knight we have not seen in the webcomic for quite a while. Of course, has had a very major role in the remake. But, doesn't seem like he is even enough to take on this demon-level threat. Just kind of scratching his back. But Genos, okay, this is very, 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 very interesting. Because this dynamic between Genos and Drive Knight was established first in the webcomic, where Drive Knight said very cryptically to Genos right after the alien invasion arc, Metal Knight is your enemy, right? And then in the webcomic, this was elaborated on a bunch more. Drive Knight told Genos his understanding of Metal Knight's plans to take over the Hero Association security forces, to take over the world eventually, to mechanize all of this stuff. And Genos was like, okay, I'll see. And right now it's kind of up for debate. Who do we trust, Drive Knight or Metal Knight? I'm on the side of Metal Knight being the antagonist. That just makes a lot more sense. And the webcomic has been hinting more and more as well that Metal Knight is the antagonist. But if they do really explicitly confirm something here, I assume it will be the same as in the remake. So we're actually kind of potentially learning some stuff about a future arc in the remake, which is typically not the case. Like, they've deviated so far at this point that not often do we think, oh, this is going to have some ramifications for some twists in the remake as well. Okay. What kind of conversation do they have? Not over yet. That was just one. The source is E-City Thrill Animal Park. Some herbivores took over the park, turning into monsters, and now they're rampaging. Is this a crossover with Beastars? Just kidding. That isn't Beastars spoilers. By the way, that was just a joke. I'm only watching the Beastars anime, so I don't know what's going on in the manga. If I'm coincidentally right, then I'm sorry for those accidental spoilers. Okay. He summons his transforming block thing. Since you're the one asking, I will tell you about it. But my black weapon, tactical transformation. This is very funny because we've already seen kind of how this works in the remake. He's able to turn into any shogi piece. All of his transformations are themed on shogi pieces, both the unpromoted and promoted ones. We don't really know how it works exactly. We don't know, is it a person somewhere in there? Is it a cyborgified person? Is it actually just a robot being controlled by someone? How is it able to transform so extensively? Unless it's just a robot. And so it turns into the knight. Maybe Genos is riding on the back. It kind of looks like Genos is riding on the back. No, maybe not. Nah, I don't think so. So yeah, all of these guys have subverted. Instead of the lion eating the zebra eats the lion. Instead of the human eating the deer eats the human. Transformation silver, slices it up. Change fighting style depending on the type of battle. Ordinary form is called pawn. So Silver's for cutting down. Knight for omnidirectional movement. Which isn't true in Shogi. In Shogi, the knight cannot retreat. Or the horse, as it's properly called. It's literally translates as horse. It can only move to these squares. Unlike chess, where it can move to these two, these two, these two, and these two. Yeah, so I don't know what he means by that, but whatever. He needs to refresh his shogi rules. He needs to nerf his own powers to better reflect shogi. But this is kind of interesting that they're explaining this so explicitly in the webcomic after like demonstrating it clearly in the remake. Seems kind of unnecessary, but one is one. One will do as one wants. There's the impaling gazelle, the blood-bathing water buffalo, and the gluttonous swirls. The neck-extending giraffe. Awesome. The melee killer kangaroo. Visitor murdering panda. Look at this guy. He's just a panda. Okay, alright. This is so out of place. Like, there's so much stuff happening in the plot right now. It's so weird to me that we're getting this little demo of Drive Knight's powers. Drive Knight, who hasn't really been super plot relevant. We're getting this little tour of all of his forms and their specialties. Oh my gosh, look at how cute he is. Against this army of weirdo killer animals. Sure, Lance for speed. That makes sense in Shogi. Lance is like the most minor piece that can move an arbitrary amount of distance. It can only go straight ahead, but it goes really fast. Bishop for power also makes sense. Bishop is one of the strongest pieces in Shogi, only second to the rook, and I guess the king. The king technically is number one. But yeah, a promoted bishop or a promoted rook especially becomes extremely scary. The promoted bishop, able to just nuke the king, the enemy king, quite easily sometimes. Gold for heat. We saw this in the remake, after the cat had infiltrated his body, that he was able to heat up everything and annihilate the cat from within by using the gold transformation. Pretty cool. I guess this refers to the fact that outside of the king, the gold has the widest radius of attack. It moves like this. Only 2 squares it can't move to. So that's kind of like the burst of radiant heat, perhaps. And then the rook, again, a very fast-moving piece, a very powerful piece. But you might think, why is the rook for sky attacks? Well, that's because it's translated as a rook because it moves like the rook. But if you look at the characters, it's actually flying car. It's the flying car. And it can go as far as it wants in any in the 4 directions. It upgrades to as far as it wants in the 4 directions, and then it can also take 1 step in the diagonal directions. Extremely strong. The Dragon King, it translates as. Yeah, it's the flying car, so that's why it's this flying car. Alright, made quick work. So strong. Extremely versatile combat function. Adjustable cyborg that focuses on external components. It's the same as me. He has thrown away his human side. Okay, the boss came out. Looks like we are not going to have a conversation about the killer cyborg or Metal Knight or anything like that. At least not right away. First they have to fight the Apex Rabbit. I'm getting big Ikoria vibes from this, if you know the magic set Ikoria. Also, the other thing I'm getting vibes of is the House of Evolution, who had all monsters themed around animals that were possibly just super mutated animals. And we saw the House of Evolution in action in the last chapter. So I don't know. Is this all connected? But the House of Evolution, if they're working with Zombie Man, seems like they're kind of on the up and up. They're just having that takoyaki store. They were seemingly okay with just not taking over the world or anything. So if this is the House of Evolution, you wonder why they're kind of back to their BS. Genos, the fact that you came with me was a nice surprise. Ooh, okay, here we go. They one-paneled the Apex Rabbit. Dragons out here getting one-paneled. It's a rough era for dragons. blue one-paneled one yesterday. I mean, last chapter. Okay. What do you know about Metal Knight? Long ago you told me he was my enemy. Okay. So it wasn't that Metal Knight was behind the cyborg that attacked Genos' village. Trying to keep him safe from Metal Knight abducting him and stealing his technology. Okay. Your incineration cannons, reinforced muscle fibers, your artificial nerves, the energy core you have. Problem if you attain them. Don't be so careful. Just who is he? Who is Beaufoy, the mad scientist? The one remotely controlling the S-Class hero Metal Knight. In a nutshell, he's evil. Masked himself as a hero with a sense of justice and joined the Hero Association, but at the moment of the most material-chain defenses have been hijacked by his own. You can say they were virtually taken over. So this is the explanation that Drive Knight gave Genos in the remake, basically. So now they're kind of lining up the remake and the webcomic on this front for a future arc that I guess will be in both of them. He's kind of like Bondrude in this description so far. A little less interesting than Bondrude. I'm sorry, Bondrude. I shouldn't compare people to Bondrude so easily. Talking about the character in Made in Abyss, which I think is one of the most fascinating characters in all of anime. Hero Association HQ also has a monster facility. Okay. So they're brainwashed. Model them, clone them, and turn them into soldiers. So this is, again, what Blue was saying. Now being reinforced. Contacts people with dangerous ideas. He grants them the power to realize those ideas by lending them his scientific power. Yes, we've seen a lot of monsters that are like this, too. That are just some guy mutated beyond belief with a billion weapons strapped onto him and going, all my life I was bullied for loving hamburgers. Now I'm Grill Man and I'll grill you to death. And he shoots out a bunch of hamburgers. Right? We've seen that pattern a lot. Beaufoy behind it all. Trying to rule the moment at the right moment when mankind's resistance is weakened. Let's destroy everything at once. Just like playing in a sandbox and rebuilding a world he has full control over. Just what the Hero Association really know about him. Giving absolutely free reign, we can rely on the weapons and systems he makes. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Maybe under the same circumstances. Someone with mutual enemies with mutual goals of extermination. I believe it's worth putting my trust in you. So I have. Aha. Okay. So this is brand new information. This is interesting because this wasn't mentioned in the remake, right? They never talked about the fact, this idea that Metal Knight, that Beaufoy had built the thing that rampaged through Genos' village. I'm pretty sure it was never established in the remake. So did Drive Knight not know that at that point? Or did he just choose not to tell Genos that at that point? Or did he tell Genos that and I forgot? Also very likely. I guess I'll have to go back and reread some of the remake to find out. Okay, but this is one of the big fundamental mysteries of the series, something that has been teased since the very start, but not revealed. The Mad Cyborg. The elusive rampaging cyborg that indiscriminately delivered complete destruction countless times. Beaufoy made it. Spanned countless murderous machines. Strengthened and modified my body. To be evidence that it was taken out by another hero, cease showing up. Preserving it as a trump card. Pursuing him, same as me. Okay. The time is now. Metal Knight has already made his move. Army of robots will attack. The cyborg will undoubtedly appear. It's like the whole previous arc just didn't happen. The Neo Heroes? What? Blue Blast Sun? What? Saitama Bad Hero Name Association? What? Busting Psychos out of the research facility prison thing? What? Now it's the Metal Knight arc. Surprise! Huh? This feels like it's the first chapter of some brand new arc. But no. And this has been hinted at throughout the Neo Hero arc, and I was like, oh, they're setting up stuff for the arc after this. But right now, I think like right now, Metal Knight or Drive Knight is saying, let's go preemptively attack Metal Knight's robot army. We have to destroy the Mad Cyborg. Huh? Okay. Alright then. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. It looks like I have been vindicated in saying that I believed Drive Knight was the good guy and Metal Knight was the villain. If you want, I have a video somewhere on this channel, if you search for Drive Knight, breaking down on kind of like a meta storytelling level why I thought that made the most sense. And I think I was right. It looks like I was right. It would be pretty friggin' shocking if Drive Knight turned out to be the betrayer after all of this. So much so that I would be just as happy. I've put myself in a nice win-win here. So yeah, let's look forward to the next chapter. I don't know what sort of pace we're looking at here. It's always just been these long gap, then burst of chapters, then long gap, then burst of chapters. So hopefully we are still in the burst of chapters, but we could be in the long gap. So see you either maybe in a couple days or in a couple months. Bye-bye.